and welcome back. If you guys remember on the last one, I finally got the chance to bring my motor home. It's been in storage for a while and I've been dying to finish it up. This was pretty much done. I just need to button up all of the stuff as far as accessories, so intake, exhaust, pulleys, so on and so forth. So I'm doing that now, getting it prepared for tomorrow because I will be bringing the S13 here tomorrow. But this is a video that has been requested actually almost a year now. Yeah, it's been almost a year now. Summer of last year, I posted a video getting this guy ready here, this intake. So it is a GReddy style intake. And a lot of you guys are asking how I installed it, you know, getting the plumbing right. So that is what I'm gonna show you in this video today. So let's get started. Right here, this actually goes underneath the intake plenum, which is gonna go underneath the new one. So I just removed this bracket, water lines. I'm gonna unbolt these and make sure they go in the right pattern as far as bolts, because I don't know if these are different sizes. So, and we'll go ahead and remove these right now. Alright, so I just got those two pieces and the throttle body off. So the next part here is the fuel rail. Best way to do this is remove this upper plenum that attaches to the throttle body with these bolts over here, and there's going to be a couple underneath. So we'll do that as well. Go. And normally you can just do it without that, but it's kind of nice to be able to have access this way to the pool. Alright, and then right here, so this one right here is the it's on the side of the upper, and it kind of sits in the back, and this is the idle air control valve, so we'll definitely want this as well. I know, Rain, we'll go out in a sec. Alright, so I just went ahead and used a shop vac to clean up that hair, because I didn't want any of the hair to go in any of the fuel components, obviously, clog stuff up. I actually was gonna paint this, but I don't know, I kind of like that brass purple heat stained color on there. I might just have to clean this up and see what it looks like on it. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to work my way here, take off this harness, and then go from there. Alright, so got the fuel rail out. Normally if you guys are going to reuse these seals, you'll obviously want to take those as well, but I have new ones, so I'll probably just take them just for spares. But in this wiring too, like I mentioned, I'm getting a whole new wiring harness from Wiring Specialties, so I may not need this, but before throwing it away, I'll make sure and just hold on to it. On this, I only have 2 bolts that I put on there just to hold it on. Alright, so I'm just about ready to install the water pipe onto my plenum. So I went with, for the gasket, I went with Permatex Optimum Black. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna put a layer of that on the water pipe itself. Because once you apply that, I'm just gonna lay it on there and hand tighten it until I see some of the gasket maker come out from it, and then it says to leave it there for an hour and then torque it down to spec. So we'll do it that way just to make sure there's no leaks, and we won't have to take this apart later on. Since I'm waiting for that to cure, we're gonna go ahead and do the idle air control valve. I wish I had my a MAF cleaner, because then I could shoot some MAF cleaner in here, but since this isn't really using a gasket maker, I'll go ahead and just throw that on there for now. So when you get this intake kit, it does come with a bunch of screw-on nipples for vacuum lines and such. So I was looking on diagrams online. There's one that goes right here that actually connects to this. So make sure you have a good helping of Teflon, since this will be under boost. There we go. So I'm gonna tighten that down. Alright, so that's on there, and I know there's a couple vacuum lines that we're going to put as we go. And I'm going to mount this onto the motor, and we'll go ahead and try to put there's a spacer for the throttle body, so we'll put that on next.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to remove this. I'm not going to put the gasket on yet because this is just going to be a quick mock-up just to hold it. So this is the stock throttle body, and it'll actually go this way. And if you notice, the bolt holes don't line up, and the actual diameter of the throttle body is completely small compared to what comes with that. So essentially this sandwiches in right there. Let's put that on. So technically there's supposed to be a gasket here, which, ooh, it didn't come with a gasket, so I might have to make one. So I did make this to the plenum. What I use for gaskets, I just use that same gasket material. I looked online. Obviously all the throttle body gaskets are made for the OEM size, which I already have that I could use. So I'm gonna try this out, but I think that'll hold boost perfectly fine. But also, I don't know if you can see inside. So obviously when I mated those two, it made a bead of sealant, and I just ran my finger across it, so that way it's a seamless transition inside from the adapter to the actual plenum. So I don't know if you can see that with this light that I'm putting on there, like that. Okay, so I was cleaning up the throttle body, got done with that, and I pretty much was not happy with how clean I could get it. Like, I got it clean, but you can still see it was kind of dingy. So I cleaned it up, threw some high temp black on there, and masked it up the best I could, but that way she follows the theme of how clean this motor is. I know a lot of you thinking probably this is like overkill for a drift motor, but honestly, when it's out and it's here, it's really hard. Like, it's like literally my OCD. But yeah, I've gotten this far, so might as well finish it off right. Okay, so it is now the day after those last clips, and I took off all the masking, but I'm gonna throw that on here now and torque that down. All right, and so the last part is plumbing what we've done here. So if you notice, there's two parts that we have to plumb, this sensor and then the IAC valve. So this right here, it's gonna connect to this side, and then the metal side of the sensor is gonna connect to the plenum itself. So it's super simple. You can get new hoses, obviously, to connect those two. I am opting to use the original hoses that were taken off of the stock plenum. So technically you just need the larger one. And if you look, this is in the shape of where you need this one to be. And on the other end, it kind of has that similar bend that you could use from here to up there. Alright, so that is all done. So just so you can see again, this one routes over here, and then underneath here you'll see this guy routes into the plenum itself. Lastly, you're gonna have some vacuum line spots. So there's actually 5 locations for vacuum line nipples that go here, and 1 at the top. So this top one is for the brake booster, and then you can do one for your boost gauge. You'll do one for the fuel pressure regulator, and one usually you'll have for like what do you call it, the evap canister, but for most of us we won't be running that. And right here, this is the water routing. So these are the water lines. I cut off the brackets that would normally be attached to the old intake manifold. You'll see right here the routing. You'll see from the block, this will go to the heater core. This you're gonna plug off because this used to go into the old intake. So you're gonna plug this right here from the block. It tees off to the oil cooler right here. And then from this side, you'll see this goes to this part of the tubing right here. And then this goes right back to behind the thermostat. And so this is the water that's gonna come from this side is gonna go into the radiator once the thermostat opens. So this is a return basically. You'll see your turbo return will come from over here. That obviously goes on the other side to the turbo. So this is a turbo return for the water, and then you're gonna connect this all the way to this nipple right here, and that's gonna bring the hot the hot water from the turbo back behind the thermostat. So once the thermostat opens, that goes to the radiator. So that's the plumbing for underneath the GReddy style intake. So on the next video, I will be working on the exhaust side. If you guys remember me talking about not having the gasket, I should have that here in the next couple of days. And once I do, I can lock this down, start plumbing up the coolant and the oil lines on this. And then from there, I mean, it's just really putting the oil pan on, bolting on the flywheel. Oh, I gotta do the rear main seal, so I will be putting that in the video as well. And then of course the fuel lines. But that's pretty much it, and we are super close to dropping this in. So the next 2 or 3 videos, it should be me taking the 240 here, bringing it here on my trailer, because I did get that wheel. And then from there, you know, hopefully dropping this in there. So, but yeah, like I said, hopefully this helped you guys out. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.